Good morning. This is your 8:15 daily operations weather briefing, starting off with cloudy and cold conditions this morning. Temperatures in the low 20s, and we will see some active weather moving into the area, particularly as we get past the 12 local time frame, where we'll see some snow moving through. Could see some light to moderate snow, possibly seeing heavy snow at times as we move through the overnight. We'll see a chance of a few flurries this morning, but again, the bulk of that activity moving in as we get into the afternoon time. Take a look at the current surface analysis. We can see that disturbance has come together and sitting off to our west-southwest, and will gradually move into the region as we move again into the afternoon time frame. We'll see that precip moving through, continuing into the morning time frame of tomorrow, and we could see some breaks in that activity and possibly some afternoon passing showers, snow showers for our Thursday. Current conditions this morning: overcast around 7,000 feet, winds out of the north to north-northwest at around 8 knots, temperature 22 degrees, relative humidity is at 40%. We'll take a look at our local radar. We do have some light reflectivities moving through the area, just mainly north of the local Wallops station here. Some of these more green colors, possibly maybe seeing a few flurries near the surface, but overall this is still elevated precip and not making it to the surface. We will see those cloud bases lowering as we continue through the day and that system moves a bit closer. We look at our current visible satellite with the composite reflectivity laid over it. We can see it will be socked into clouds and continue to be cloudy as the system moves through, and seeing those reflectivity values that kind of finger of reflectivity into the local area, but a bulk of that reflectivity is still off to the west. And again, that will be gradually moving through as we get into the afternoon time frame. We'll look at the high resolution model, see what we can expect as this pushes through today. Again, some chance of a few maybe light flurries as we move through the morning, particularly as we get later in the morning, more towards the noon time frame. And then as we pass the noon time frame, we will see that light snow becoming likely. And then getting later in the afternoon, we will start to see some more moderate snow building into the local area, and we could see some possibly heavier snow at times as we move through the overnight time frame. But as you can see, consistent light to moderate snow with the possibility for some heavier snow continuing through the overnight time frame until we get into the hours just before or around daybreak for Thursday, where we could see a few breaks in the snow, but overall still seeing some light snow around the area. And then as we get into the morning hours of Thursday, some lingering light snow around, possibly seeing a break in that activity as we'll see some slightly breezy conditions developing and continued cold conditions. And then moving into the late morning and early afternoon tomorrow, we'll see some upper level energy continuing to swing through with that upper level trough for that time frame, and that could initiate a few light snow showers pushing through the area as we move through again that late morning, early afternoon time. And then getting into the later afternoon, we will see those winds really start to crank up as the precip moves out of the area. We can see that indicated here with those kind of darker reflectivity streamers coming off the bays, indicating those stronger winds. We'll likely see a wind advisory as we get later in the day tomorrow, and that should continue as we go through the overnight time frame with those winds staying elevated, and we will slowly start to see those clouds on the decrease through that time frame, setting up for a dry, chilly, partly cloudy to mostly sunny day on Friday, where we might get above freezing for our high temperature. So looking at the 24-hour weather risk chart for today, do have that yellow risk starting off this morning for precip with that chance of maybe a few flurries or light snow. But again, that will be most likely later in the morning, more towards that noon time frame. Otherwise cloudy. We'll see our high temperature climbing to around 28 degrees for today by the late morning, and then as we get into the afternoon, we move up to a red risk for precip as that light snow becomes likely, and that will start to cool temperatures down as we move into the evening. We do pick up a yellow risk for reduced ceilings and visibilities with that snow activity starting, and that increases to an orange risk as we pass the 1600 local time frame, as we will see that light to moderate snow steady moving through the evening and overnight time frame, and that's when we'll continue to see those red conditions for precip as well. Winds generally staying out of the north today and into the evening, right around 6 to 11 knots, around 5 to 10 knots as we get into the evening. and then picking up a bit as we move into the early morning hours of Thursday, up to 7 to 12 knots, possibly seeing some gustier winds as we get into the start of the day on Thursday. As we pass 5 local, that's when we'll see a chance of a few breaks in the snow activity with some on and off light snow and some embedded more moderate snow with that activity as we get into the start of the day on Thursday. Overall, through the next 24 hours, we do expect about 4 to 7 inches of snow accumulation, and we'll see very cold conditions with those wind chill values pretty much staying in the teens, possibly reaching the low 20s this afternoon, but overall staying in the teens as we move over the next 24 hours. And again, with that snow activity moving through, we'll continue to see reduced visibilities and those ceilings dropping down to around or below 500 feet. So again, indicated by that orange risk there for those reduced ceilings and visibilities as that snow pushes through. Seeing tides run about a foot below normal at this time, and looking at the next couple days, Thursday, we'll see that lingering snow early, and then we'll have that chance of that afternoon or late morning snow pushing through with that upper level energy. So we do keep an orange risk for precip for our Thursday. Additional accumulation expected to be around 1 inch, totaling this whole event up to around 5 to 8 inches for the local Wallops area. Points north, we'll see a bit less. Points south, we'll see a bit more. We'll take a look at our snow map here in just a second to indicate that. Otherwise, we'll see slightly breezy conditions in the morning, and then again behind that precip activity, we'll see winds becoming quite breezy, possibly seeing some blowing snow around the area as we get later in the day. So we do have that red risk for winds that are above 25 knots, and then orange risk for reduced ceilings and visibilities with that snow activity, as well as some of that blowing snow, possibly reducing the visibilities a bit. But wind chill values will be in the mid-teens, and we'll see our high around 30 degrees. Another cold night Thursday night, mostly cloudy, and we'll gradually see those clouds decreasing, becoming partly cloudy later in the evening into the start of Friday. Breezy continuing through the overnight time frame, so an orange risk for winds at or above 25 knots, likely holding on to that wind advisory criteria, and those wind chill values will be in the low teens and upper single digits, so a very chilly evening for our Thursday evening. And then Friday we'll see a bit quieter day, but we'll see some breezy conditions to start the day with orange risk continuing for those winds at or above 25 knots. But gradually, mainly as we get late in the day, we'll start to see those peak winds dropping off, and likely seeing that wind advisory expire late in the day. But through the daytime hours, we'll see chilly conditions. We will likely see temperatures finally getting above freezing with a high around 38 degrees, but those wind chill values will be in the upper teens, eventually reaching the low to mid 20s as we move through the day on Friday. We'll wrap up here by looking at the snow map that we issued yesterday. We will be updating this as we get later in the day today and putting this on our website. So check back for the latest version. Not expecting much change to what we have here with the 5 to 8 category over the local Wallops area and points just south, and then going further south, likely seeing higher totals in the 8 to 11 inch range. And then as we go north, dropping down to 3 to 5 inches, and then up towards Salisbury and north of Salisbury in the 2 to 3 inch range. And then the only change we may see is possibly cutting off some of this accumulation a bit further south, as it does look like not as much of the snowfall is going to make it up to those furthest northern points. But we will be updating this later this morning or into the afternoon, so check back for that latest update. And that's going to wrap up the 8:15 Daily Operations Weather Briefing. We'll be back again at 10 a.m. to take a look at the extended forecasts. Enjoy your morning.